What's up, guys? So I said I'd do a little prologue before the Tennesse Knockout. I'm going to be running the surron in the ECR class, the electric bike class, and this is the last weekend before the race, so I'm going to be heading out there Thursday, and then doing the practice qualifying race for position on Friday. The main event is not going to be on Saturday. So all the details are on our website about it. But anyway, for those of you who don't know what the Tennesse Knockout is, it's hard enduro, and they've added in a electric bike class last year, and this year it's been my first year doing it. I've actually been building this bike since about 2020 to do the Tennesse Knockout, but I've never actually had the opportunity to make it. So pretty excited. I've been training the last few weeks, and I figured I'd give you all a quick rundown on what I'm going to be running for the race. First one I did was, these are KTM 65 forks. I've done my own way of mounting up a actual KTM 65 rotor. Made an adapter for it. Running the TKO Moto Pro controller. I've got my tune set up pretty good. The last few rides I've had no complaints with it. It runs really smooth. It has a good snap off the bottom. I have a kind of a weird tune if you look at it. I have like 100% off idle, and then it kind of drops back down, and then kind of slowly creeps back up until you get to about I think it's around 5,000 or 6,000 RPMs, and it starts signing off. What else we got here? So brand new. I just put it on this past week. I got a Kenda Ibex gummy tire. I don't know if you can, of course this never really conveys until you see one in person, but it's super gummy, soft tire. And then I am running a Moose in the rear, which is basically just a big foam insert, and I've drilled a few holes in it to try and soften it up. You can see how soft that is right there. It literally feels like you have a flat, which is what you want for this type of race. That's super low traction. Well, you want as much traction as you can get, because everything is slippery rock and steep climbs and all that. I am running a 72 volt 42 amp hour battery I built. I have two other batteries as backup. I did a race a while back that was 3 hours long. Made it through the whole race with the 3 batteries, and it was pretty much just pure sand the whole race. So that was actually quite a intense race. Oh, and as far as the controller goes, with the 72 volt, I'm peaking 12 kilowatts on the 72 volt, and then that's just like my gotta get over a hill, blast over something, and I'm running 500 phase amps. On my eco mode, I am running about 9.5 maybe on the 72 volt setup. Let's see. And then I have a 60 volt battery that I've built before. That one I really don't use sport mode on it because the cells in it just can't really handle it. You can burst it up a couple times here and there if you're doing a short race, but for these long endurance races where everything gets hot and stays hot, it's really not ideal. So for that one I run around 8.5 kilowatts. It's the same setting as the 9.5, 10 kilowatt one in eco mode on 72 volt, because I just have the voltage cut off for the 60 volt, and the 72 volt I just keep an eye on my voltage, which I have right here. Made this little 3D printed display that just a regular old voltmeter popped into. And as far as the battery goes, it looks a little bit goofy, but in that race I ended up breaking these, so little 3D printed latch extensions. So I just have a strap on there now with those as backup, which those have already broken in the last 2 rides. And those are actually much stronger material, and I did like 80% infill, so pretty much if you ride off-road, 3D printed ones will not work at all. So just note for anyone that's thinking about doing a taller battery and it comes with 3D printed parts, don't even consider those worth using. So you got my Warp 9 upgraded linkage stuff here. I've got a 420 chain conversion, Marzocchi Bomber, C2R shock. And that I've had that thing for so long that they didn't have any shocks out whenever I bought the. If I'd ever had to upgrade it or replace it, I'll probably go to the Bone Cat. 58 tooth rear sprocket and my wheel setup is 1619. Still the original front wheel. I just laced up a 16-inch rear wheel to my original stock hub. Let's see. And then the last big thing, mine is kind of a prototype, but I have been selling adapters to run KTM 65 brakes on the rear. Like I said, mine's a prototype, so I just literally cut it out of steel. And this is actually a rear caliper from a 65. So I had a custom line made. I just have a 65 conversion I did. So I just pulled the master cylinder off of that for the clutch. Like I said, I think a 420 chain conversion just for reliability. I'm actually going to carry a spare master link. I'm debating maybe carrying a spare chain for the race, but probably just going to do the master link and a pair of pliers, and I should, because that could fix both chains. So that's another reason to go with the 420 rather than the 217 or staying with the belt, because you can make the repairs on the trail, where the other two are not very friendly to making repairs, and they're different. So I'm actually running the exact same chain on both of them. Upgraded foot pegs just for more grip. Again, handlebars are matched to this 65 fork, so just typical moto handlebars, and bark busters, because you're constantly smacking into trees out here, which you'll see in a minute here. Yeah, I think that's about it. So I'm gonna go do some ripping around, get a little warmed up, and then I'm probably gonna start on the trail called Banjo. It's kind of a snaky trail with a lot of tech in it. And then once I get warmed up there, I'll head back over to this side of and there's some stuff I want to try and knock out, practice on. There's some gnarly hill climbs, and last time I came across a tree that was down that was probably it was taller than the front wheel, so it's quite a challenge to get over it. But it's not actually on the trail. I had to go off the trail. So like I said, I've been doing a lot of training like this. Yeah, and I just wanted to kind of show y'all what all I've been doing, and maybe get some people excited about the Tennesse Knockout. So let's see how this goes. Let's see. Maybe I'll try that right there. See, that's the type of stuff I'm talking about. I kind of look for some challenging obstacles. Let's see. And try going both ways. So this is the type of stuff I've been trying to just mess around with. Oh, sometimes I wish this thing had reverse. I'll be honest, this is my first time trying the downhill log hop, and this is massive, so we'll see how this goes. And there's a tree right there on the side of it, so there we go. Whew, that was nervous wracking. Let's see if I can go the other way now. Should be a little bit easier because I can blast up into it a little bit more, so I won't get hung up on top as much. In theory. See? That's probably about as gnarly as it's going to get from out here. So. The part that you can't see is it is crazy hot already. It's already like 85 degrees and it's like 7 o'clock in the morning right now. So I come out here early, try and get some riding in before I come out here and start getting heat exhausted. configuration. And of course, everything I've done on this has been budget. So most people end up buying everything and spending $12,000+ to build a similar setup. I haven't done the exact math, but I'm definitely under $7,000 into this bike. But I did buy the bike in 2020, so it was about $500 cheaper back then, $600 cheaper. And then again, like I said, I pieced everything else together myself, like the forks, the brakes. Don't break the tire loose. With gummies, that's the way you want to actually ride. You don't want your tires spinning and break the traction. You want it to just stay nice and grabbing the ground, keep your momentum. We're about to come up on a pretty gnarly hill climb. I'm sure camera doesn't do it justice. And last weekend, actually, at the end of my ride, I'd done everything, and then we decided to go for a little bit more, and I came over here, did this trail one more time, and my battery kicked out on this. The BMS actually hit the low voltage. So it cut out about a quarter of the way up, so I rolled up about halfway and then just ended up having to come back down, and that was a nightmare because, like I said, this is really steep. The first time I hit it on the surron, I wasn't sure I was going to make it, so I'm going to try and do a short run up and make it a little more challenging. But I really don't think I'm going to have a problem anymore now that I know that. So let's see. Yep. Hopefully this kind of shows, you can see over there how steep that is. Maybe this is the same grade, about the same grade, maybe a little bit less. And the old trail used to go around right there to avoid this hill climb. So, but obviously everyone's been doing the hill climb because there used to be a one over here that was really gnarly. It was called Hospital Hill, and it used to be a really fun climb. Let's see here. And this is always a fun little section over here. It's kind of off camber. Climb up this way, and then a rooted off camber on the side over here. So like a little side hill. Here, rocks and roots. Well, maybe not rocks. We don't have rocks around here. Alright, so this is another pretty steep climb. You can see right here, it's just, I mean, it's just the wall right there. So I'm just gonna try and blast up this one real quick, give y'all more idea of what I've been practicing. Nothing. Another fun little trail. I actually went and cleared this one out for everyone a few weeks ago. This is one of my favorites. It's just super techy and tight. On the big bike it's a little bit cumbersome, but the surron is so much fun. Probably just put in a few clips of it in a video, but there's one really gnarly downhill in it. Yeah, while I was off camera, damn it, got some sticks on me. I adjusted my throttle sensitivity settings with this moose, and that feels a lot more like it used to from a throttle perspective. So, a little more snappy. Because you have the acceleration settings on the throttle. When there's my dad riding, I had it set to like 180. And then where the max on it is 224, if I'm not mistaken. And last week I tried it at 200, and it was just way too much with the other wheel setup, the other tire setup. And so I dropped it down to 190, like back in between the two, and it was like perfect. But earlier, whenever I was trying to do that log hop and all, the front didn't want to snap up as quick as I'm used to. So I went and adjusted back up to 200, and now it's feeling nice and snappy like it used to be. So I guess that's going to be a part of the tune of the feel with its different tires, different wheel setups. Because yeah, I have a feeling if I was on a stock wheel setup, I'd probably want to turn that down to like 170. Because that rear wheel is so small and light, it just spins right up. So, but one of those nice things about electric, you can tune every single bit about them. Alright, so here's the big downhill I was talking about. You gotta run this whole thing, and then here it is right here. Yeah, I mean, you can just see it's like you can't even see. It's probably 70 feet out that you see from there, and right when you get down this little ravine, there's a log at the bottom. So I remember a long time ago we did this the other way, and like we tried doing all the trails backwards, and I really had trouble getting up this, which is not really a surprise. I was on a DR200 dual sport, so but yeah, it's really steep. Man, okay, that's another benefit of that tire, I guess. It really kept me under control the whole way, because before my rear tire used to just lock up on that. Alright, so went up on another really gnarly downhill ridge. Now, they have made a new line around it that's much easier, but I think I'm going to see if it's possible to go down it. But normally they have started going down right here. But this is the old line. Let's see. Yeah, it's still doable. I don't know how much y'all can tell, but it is pretty steep, and then it gets straight vertical right here. It used to be much worse. I think the rain has kind of actually mellowed it out, kind of smoothed out. But that's where I just came down. So, I mean, you can see that angle. Coming down, if you're not used to going down roots and chop like that, it's sketchy. And then there's a, let's see, I might try and see if I can find the old line, but I feel like there were some trees on it or something last time I looked here, some logs. But anyway, recently, I think I'm gonna try going this way. You got this. Alright, let's try it run up again. You know it takes momentum to get up these hills. Oh. Here we go. Yep, reason right there. because this used to be pretty challenging to get up there. I remember that much. That's another reason apparently just got a bad washout now. And that's where the other trail makes up. So, alright, coming up on another pretty crazy downhill. Here. Right around this corner. First few times coming through here, I was terrified, to be honest. But, let's see. There's a deer. So you got a straight vertical. That one's pretty easy. This is probably, so that's the normal route that most people take. That one, kind of the middle right there. It's pretty smooth, but I think I'm gonna try and go down right here. This looks a little bit chunky. See how this goes. Whoa! Oh, talk about stomach drop. Because, see if you can see it from here. Yeah, that's past vertical. So you're literally just falling off the edge there. Anyway, I think I'm coming up on that log here too. In a minute. Yep, there it is right there. The little tree that fell down. Let's see. So get next to it and so you can see the perspective how big this thing is. Off the bike so you can see. So it's at least the size of the front wheel. So that means hitting it, you're hitting dead center. So you have to get your front over it, and my rear tire is actually smaller. So and pivot turn, and another pivot turn the other way. You gotta get all types of practice in here. Let's see. There we go. Not as smooth as I would have liked it. Try it again. Trying to keep my front floating the whole way over. That's what I did last time on my first attempt. So, I need to give it a little more oomph. There we go. Not as good, but better. And that's, I think, coming down to the tire not being as low a pressure as I was on my other one. And my other one is not as much of a knobby, so it had more of a traction type, trials type traction. So, alright, last thing to show y'all is the big hill climb. I'll get there in a few minutes and let y'all see. Alright, so I was taking a quick little breather right here. Just made it to the big hill climb. So this is the hill. There's a couple different lines. One of them, the Lee Hill. This is the gnarliest of the three options I try. Because there's this tree down here, limb down, and you have to kind of go up here, cut across there, and then climb up the right side. So it's you gotta get a good ways up, and it's that first part is pretty steep, and you can't go in the middle because if you go in the middle, you're screwed. It's just washed out and really rooted. So it's hard staying to the left around this tree and having any momentum. And then at the very top, there's actually, you can see the tree that's down up there. They have to hop over at the top. So now granted, that's the easy part. Once you get up there, it's actually fairly flat, but there's still a little bit of an incline with a log hop at the top. So, and it looks like I'm about at 60% or so on charge. So I've been around a while. I've probably done about 10 or 15 miles already. I've done most of the trails, so should be nice and warmed up. And the last few times I feel like I did it in eco mode, and I used to always do it in sport just to have the power, but I think I'm going to try starting in eco and try and keep traction a little bit better. And I swear I think I have a spider in my goggles. There's a lot of webs out here. That's the unfortunate thing about being the first one out here. This is the really tough part. Trying to keep traction here. But, man, that was so much easier. This tire, I think this tire really lives up to the name. It's a cheater. That was so much easier. Alright. Once you get back up, there's a kind of a dedicated downhill, but it's pretty overgrown. So yeah. So, I mean, you can see, you can kind of pick whatever line you want up, trying to get up this hill. But, like I said, there's a couple dedicated lines, so you can, should be a little bit more like the race is going to be. They should have a line kind of drawn out for you to take. Let's see. I'm going to try the other sections. So, that one, in the past, it's harder to get through that first half, and then a little bit easier once you get to the second half. Like, but honestly, that was really easy compared to normal. This other one, on the other hand, is easy on the start. It's easy to keep momentum, easy to get up to the about midway, but then it steepens up at the top, so it gets really challenging. But and then this downhill is another thing I need to test. How much traction this tire has, because normally my rear tire is just like locked up and I can't control my speed very well, which I'm fine with, but I think for this race I need to know what type of traction I can maintain. Okay, that's nice and easy. Here. And that's my normal route coming back down. It's not the dedicated route. There's actually another way, but there's like a tree down as usual. Alright, so here's the other one. There's two lines here. You have this main line that's just straight, but it gets extremely steep very quickly. And then there's this line, which is a little bit more mellow most of the way up until it gets back into that one and then hits the steep spot. So, yeah, and there's actually like a little bit of a route to the right. So you have a snake to the left and then come back to the right, and then you can climb out. So I'm going to start on this one. And there's a good little run up to it. So, and I have my RPMs adjusted now, because actually I had been running into a RPM cut issue whenever I switched to a 72 volt battery. It was never an issue with the 60 volt, but with 72 volt it climbs that little bit extra. So he was cutting out at 7,000 RPMs. So I just bumped it up to 8,500 just to be on the safe side. And I have no field weakening, so I'm not worried about going over in RPMs here. So here we go. And now you get to see how steep this crap is. Oh, can't even walk up it. Let's see if I can get up. Yeah, you know what? I don't know if I've ever made it up this line. I think about it. It's easy at the beginning, but you can see right there on that one, it really gets steep right there, and then it's a straightforward but still steep climb. Let's see. I do need to practice getting up a hill. I didn't make it. Oh. And this is my workout for the day. Even with a super light bike, this is not easy. I don't know if you can see the angle. This is probably 45 degrees right here. Alright, I don't know if y'all can see what I'm doing, but I'm practicing a little bit of a hard enduro technique, a little bit minor cross hilling, rather than just trying to go straight up with a little bit of an angle. Alright, I'm just tearing up this hill now. I think I'm just going to head back down. You know what, I'm going to climb up on this side so I'm not having to push. Oh yeah, that's it right there. That's what I need to remember. Alright, I should go right up from here. Okay. That's one thing I do need to work on is, because normally I just give up and go straight back down. That's the first time I've actually just finished up the climb, because that's what I'm going to do in the race. If I get to where I'm stuck on the hill past 3/4, I'm not running back down to try it again. So, but the challenging part in the race is going to be not getting run over by other riders when you're doing that. So yeah, this is the old line. Let's try it. Weight on that rear tire. Alright. Let me try the other line now. This has a nice long run in approach. I remember, do I go to the right or to the left? I think I go to the left. Yes, left. Alright. Alright, here we go. Don't tell me this. You were right here, come on. Alright. I know I can make this. I'm gonna bump up the power in the next one. I don't know if I've ever made this one without being in sport. But I'm so close. I think it's just a matter of, the thing about this surron, short wheelbase does not give you much forgiveness in climbs. Because that front just either wants to lift, or you put your weight forward and you end up losing all your traction. Alright. Now I will say, 12 kilowatts on this climb is actually scary. It's so freaking fast. Whew. Here we go. Okay. So, if it's a straight run up, fast speed, steep, 12 kilowatts. If it's a little more technical, I'll drop it down. got it. Like I said, guys, I'm still, I've only been riding about 3 weeks of actual training. So this is my 3rd ride of real training. So still getting the feel of the bike. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I think that's about it for the, just kind of showing you what I'm doing and a little prelog. And hopefully it won't be too much longer and get some footage out of the actual race. So, see ya.